Okay students, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be studying differentiation, which is course of IGCSE maths and O-level math as well. Today, we'll study how do we take derivatives first, and then after it, we'll study how can we apply derivatives to the questions of graphs and how can we implement the concept of differentiation. So, in first question, we are asked to find derivative of y equals to 5x cube minus 2x square plus 6x. So the y is the function and we have to take the derivative of y with respect to x. So we can write a dy by dx. And how do we take derivative? We multiply the exponent with the coefficient. So 5 times 3 is 15, and after multiplying it we subtract one number from the exponent, so 3 minus 1 would be 2. Doing the same thing again, we have to multiply exponent with the coefficient, so 2 times 2 is 4, and then we have to subtract one number from the exponent, so it would be 2 minus 1 is 1. Again the same thing, multiply the exponent with the coefficient. 1 times 6 is 6, and then we subtract one number from 1, that would be 0. Okay, but we have got the derivative, but let us just simplify it. We know that whenever something has power 0, exponent 0, that is equal to 1. Right, this is the rule of indices. We already know that whenever something is raised to power 0, then this is 1. So if 6 has 6x has power of 0, that means 6 is going to be multiplied by 1. So 6 1 times would be 1, and this is the final answer of it. You don't need to simplify it further. This is the final answer. And we have got the derivative. Moving to the next question now. Again, we are asked to find the derivative of it with respect to x. So let me write dy by dx, the derivative of function y with respect to x. That would be equal to, because 4 is going to multiply with its exponent, with its coefficient, which is 1. So 4 times 1 would be 1, and then subtract 1 from 4, that would be 3. Again, 2 would be multiplied by 3, so it would be 6. And then subtracting 1 from 2 would give me 1. After it, we know we have a constant number. This number doesn't have any variable attached to it, so this is a constant. And we know that derivative of constant is always 0. So the derivative of 2 would be 0. And this is the final answer. I'm just writing it in the simplest form to avoid any confusion. So it would be 4x cube minus 6x. That's it, because x, if the power is 1, then we don't have to write 1 in the power. Now this question seems a bit scary, but trust me, it isn't. So doing the same concepts again, 4 would be multiplied with the coefficient. So it would be 1 over 16. And subtracted 1 from the power. 1 over 16 times 4, subtracted 1 from the power, that would be 3. And then 3 would be multiplied by 1 over 3. It would be 1 over 3 times 3. And then again subtract 1 from the power, that would be 2. And again 17 over 25 is constant, so derivative of it would be 0. And we just forgot one thing, that this function is y. The question hasn't given us, but let me write it over here. So it would be dy by dx. Okay, after it we know 4 and 16 got cancelled out, so it would be 1 over 4 x cube. 3 over 3 got cancelled out, so it would be only x squared. And then we don't need to write 0. So dy by dx is only this function, the simplest form of it. Now we will see how can we apply these concepts in the question where the graph is given, or they ask you to find the gradient by using differentiation. So what can you do then? If they ask you to find the gradient of any curve, that means the gradient means delta y by delta x or dy by dx. So if they ask you to find gradient of any curve at any particular point, for example, in this question, they are asking you to find the gradient at x equals to 6. What you have to do, you just have to differentiate your equation with respect to x. So I am just differentiating my equation with respect to x. It would be 12 x power 1 and 3 threes are 9, x power 2, and then 5, negative 5. Okay, then the power of x would be 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0. Then I'll just write this in simple form. 12x negative 7x squared minus 5. So I have just differentiated my equation. After it, I know dy by dx is gradient and I have to find the gradient when x is 6. So I'll just plug in the value of x in my equation of derivative. So I'll get the derivative. I'm putting 6 in place of x and I'll solve it in the calculator. Let me just do the calculation. 12 times 6 minus 9, 6 squared minus 5. Yes, it will give me negative 275. So this is my gradient at coordinate x equals to 6. So this is simple. You just have to find the derivative and then plug in the value of x. Now in this question, they have again given us an equation and we have to find the gradient of this equation when x is equal to x. Gradient means dy by dx of course. And we have to get the value of this equation when x is 0. So what will I do? I'll find the differentiation of my equation first. Derivative dy by dx 4x1 3 and the power of x would be, sorry, it is 6 and x is raised to power 1. We know these are like terms, so let me just solve them together. 4x minus 6x would be negative 2x. So we have got the equation of derivative. What will I do? I know I need to find the derivative when x is 0. So I'll just plug in 0 in place of x and I'll get the gradient at x equals to 0. So I'm writing 0 in place of x and the answer is 0. So the gradient is 0 at x equals to 0. So when x coordinate is 0, the gradient of the curve is 0. Now we'll be doing some other type of questions, basically the reverse question of these. This time we are asked to find coordinates x and y of the curve equation or of the curve, but we have provided the gradient this time. In the previous question, they were asking for the gradient and the coordinates were given. And this time they are asking for the coordinates and gradient is given. So first thing first, we'll just take the derivative of the equation we have, of the curve we have. So 3x squared minus 10x minus 8x raised to power 0. I am just writing 0 to avoid confusions if you have any, and then I'll write it in simplest form. So it would be 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. Okay, after this we know the question has provided us dy by dx value which is 0. So let me write 0 in place of dy by dx. So this would be 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals to 0. You know this is the quadratic equation and we can solve this equation by middle term breaking or factorization method. The two factors that we got is negative 12 x and plus 2x. Negative 8 equals to 0. After taking all the commons, I'll get two pairs, two factors, 3x plus 2 and x minus 4. putting both of them equals to 0 will give me x equals to 4 or x equals to negative 2 by 3. So we have got the x coordinates still here, but y coordinates are still missing. We have got two x coordinates, and I'll write the equation of curve again and put each of value of x to get the respective value of y naught. 4 cube minus 5 4 square minus 8 4. So doing it in calculator, let me just calculate it. It would be negative 48. So I'm just writing it over here, negative 48. And this is the value of y when x is 4, y is 48. So we have found the first coordinates, but still we have another value of x, that is negative 2 over 3. So I'll just find the value of y with that respective value of x. Writing the equation again, plugging in minus 2 over 3 in place of x this time. So it would be negative 2 over 3x cube minus 5 minus 2 over 3x squared minus, there's a square, let me write that. Okay, this has become so messy. After doing all the calculations, so you will get your y would be 76 over 27. So for negative 2 over 3, you'll get 76 over 27. So these are the two coordinates in which your gradient is 0. If you have any confusion, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll clear your doubts. Thanks for watching the video. Allah Hafiz.